Hello, Kipsters. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys have had an awesome week so far. Today, we are going to be working on Recorder Lesson 4. So, if you're following along in the actual website for the Recorder lessons, we will be spending the majority of the time on Recorder Lesson 4. But we are going to start today on the bonus of Recorder Lesson 3, and just kind of reiterating what we learned yesterday and putting in a little more time with this excerpt, as it is a little more challenging to get the exact tonguing and rhythms down, but we will work on that. So today, making sure a few reminders about playing the recorder is that we are sitting up straight when we can, as much as we can. Our feet are on the ground in front of us, so we're sitting in a chairs. You can see them, or you can't see, but your body should be at a 90-degree angle, straight going. Your legs should be straight, and your knee should also be at a 90-degree angle, so your foot can tap easily. You don't have to do that much pressure. And then again, your back is straight so that your air is flowing properly. Making sure that when we are playing this instrument that our fingers are covering the entire hole, so there's no hole slippage. Even a little bit, a tiny bit will make your instrument squeak. Making sure that our mouth is on the instrument as much as possible, but not too much, of course, so that it doesn't squeak. And making sure that we're not blowing too hard into the instrument. All right, we're going to be learning a new note very soon. So making sure that we are aware of the first three notes so that we are more than ready to move on to a new note and getting our right hand involved a little bit more. All right, making sure also that the left hand is the hand that is holding the top of the instrument, the three fingers on top. You can tell by using your L. Obviously, it's backwards when you look at me, but if you look at your own hand and see an L, you can see L. Oh, it goes this way, and then I could spell the word love with it. That is your left hand. Okay. So starting on the bonus, the major duple. All right, this again is tricky because of the rhythms here. We have a bunch of eighth notes, quarter notes, and half notes here. So we have three different rhythmic values. All right, eighth notes are half of a beat. So two halves equals one whole. One half plus one half equals one whole. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of that. As I've been subbing for fourth and fifth grade, we have been doing work with fractions, although it could have been fifth grade and not fourth grade. But telling you now, one half plus one half equals a whole. If you have a half of an apple and another half of an apple, when you put that apple together, you have one whole apple. Okay. So that's like the same analogy here. If you have a half of a note and another half of a note, you put that note together, you get a quarter note or one beat, one note. Okay. So again, eighth note is a half of a beat. So when we sing an eighth note, we sing T, 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 ta. And ta, of course, is quarter note. Or we say one and two and one and two. All right, just say that with me. We're going to count the first two measures here. So all we're saying is one and two and one and two, but we're actually counting the first two measures of this excerpt here. All right, so count that with me. One, two, ready, go. One and two and one and two. Try it again. Two, ready, go. One and two and one and two. All right, T, 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 ta. When I play it, it sounds like this. Okay, and I also have the notes written down at the bottom so that you can see the first two notes are B, 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 A, B, 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 A. Okay, those are the first two notes we're playing on the recorder. So let's do it again. B is, of course, one finger, A, two fingers. One, two, ready, go. And then the next note we go to is G. All right, and we see that it is eighth notes again. One and two and one, two. Those are the next two measures. That's how you count the next two measures. So again, it's one and two and one, two. Try it with me. Ready, go. One and two and one, two. Good. Do it again. Two. Ready, go. One and two and one, two. Now play that. One, two, ready, go. Try it again now, go. Not bad. Good. So we're going to play the first four measures, and remember, our measures here are only 2 beats. Now, if we saw a C, like a letter C or a number 4, we would know that there's 4 beats in one measure. But now that we see that 2/4 over there at the beginning next to the treble clef, that means that there's 2 beats per measure. So we only count the 2 when we're counting this. So we're going to start at the beginning. All right, and then we're going to play. Remember, we only tap our foot twice, and that starts our measure, a new measure. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Let's try the last measure. Let's try the last line without practice again. So we're going to look at it. We're going to see what we have to do. We can even hum it in our head and finger it while we're humming it. All right, and that is also a way we can be good at sight singing, by practicing with our voice. And we're just reading the notes. We see that that's a B because it's on the third line, so we put our finger on B because we know this is B. And then we see that there's an A coming up because we know A is the second letter of the word face, and we know that that is in the second space, so that is A. And then, of course, G is on the second line, every good, so we know what notes we're working with here, B, A, and G. All right, let's try the last line without practicing. 1, 2, ready, go. And we have to make sure that when we play these notes, we're reading the eighth notes, we're reading the quarter notes. So we see, quarter note or eighth note, quarter note, eighth note, quarter note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, half notes. Okay? That's how we need to be making sure we're reading these notes so that when we read the music, we know how to play it. All right, eighth notes are quicker. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, 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 ta, ah. In fact, do that with me. Do that with me on the last line there. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, 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 ta, ah. Try it too. Ready, go. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, 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 ta, ah. Try it too. Ready, go. I feel like that was a good run. If it wasn't, that's okay. Rewind it and go back and practice again. But we're going to do it from the beginning and move on to section 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, beginning, go. Not bad, guys. We're going to move on because it took a little bit of time with that lesson, but that's okay because that lesson will help us in the future. All right, so moving on to next lesson. We are on quarter lesson 4, and we're learning a new note here, guys. Okay, so remember I said we're going to learn a new note? Our new note is C. All right, now we look here and we see that this note is on the third space. We look at the bottom space, that's 1. The second space above that is 2. And then the C, the note, is sitting in the space C. All right. So we've learned B, which is right here, and then in the alphabet, if we go up, the next letter in the alphabet after B is C. All right, as we go up D, as we go up E, as we go up F, as we go up G, and then after G, we know, because we've learned this, we know in music that after G, the notes start over and they go to A, which is why G is right here, and then we switch to A, B, C. All right. So we are learning a new note here, and as you can see, this one's a little tricky because we use one finger but not the other on top of it. All right, so we take the top finger off and we use our middle finger. Now I know some of you may be like, oh, the middle finger. Don't be like that. All right, it's the middle finger right here, and then we have the thumb on the back covering the hole. All right, and if we play it, it sounds like this. All right, that is the note C. Now this note again is tricky because we don't have this finger right here. This is like a comfort finger. All right, and we want to make sure that we are getting used to the idea that not all of our fingers have to be down in the correct order. All right, sometimes we can have one finger on the top and three fingers on the bottom. Sometimes we can have two on top and one at the very bottom. All right, this is going to take a lot of practice getting this comfortability down. Okay, and don't be discouraged because you can't get it down the first time. So we're going to look at exercise 9 here and then probably get to exercise 10 and then call it for today. But looking at exercise 9 right now, we have some quarter notes, some eighth notes, and a rest in the middle right here. What we're going to do is we're going to start counting these before we play them so that we can get this counting thing down, which helps us be able to see the rhythm and play it anytime we see it. Okay, so we look at how many. Every time we're going to count, we're going to start with how many beats are in the measure. All right, so we're always going to look over here. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see me zooming in. We're always going to look over here for how many beats are in our measure. If you remember yesterday, I said when you see a C, that means it's in common time. All right, and the most common time is 4 beats per measure. So that's why there's a C, because it's so common. I don't want to write 4/4. It's so common. So I'm just going to write a C to make my job easier and we can get started. All right. So we're going to look at how many beats are in this measure. As I just said, it's 4, but we want to be able to count this. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and I'm going to count it for you and then explain it. I'll try it that way. All right. So I'm looking at measure 1 and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll try it again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. If it were, you would see another quarter note there instead of those eighth notes on beat 3. All right, if you're looking on YouTube, you can see I'm circling around beat 1, I'm circling around beat 2, and I'm circling around beat 3. Now, all of beat 3 has 2 notes in it. You can see that there's 2 notes in there, but it counts for 1 beat. Because remember, an eighth note is a half. So a half plus a half equals 1 beat. All right? Although there's 2 notes there, it's only filling 1 number, the number 3. So how we count it, instead of saying 3, 3.5, 4, 3, 3.5, 4 is too much. It's a mouthful. We say 3 and 4. All right? So again, if I count it, I go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Try that with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not bad. And don't count with your fingers because I messed up and you'll mess up too. Don't count with your fingers. You don't need to. If you want, tap with your foot. All right, do it again. Count it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now if we look at the last measure, all right, we're not going to look at the rest measure. We just count 4 beats of rest. We look at the last measure and we see eighth notes at the beginning. Now remember, 2 eighth notes equals 1 half, or 1 whole, sorry. So we have 4 eighth notes put together. All right, so again, we have 2 eighth notes, they equal 1. And then 2 eighth notes, they equal 1. So when you put 4 together, 1 plus 1 equals 2. All right, so those 4 eighth notes count for 2 beats. So it sounds like this when you count it. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You see those 2 quarter notes at the end? Those get their entire number by themselves. 3, 4. The first 4 notes, though, they only make it to number 2, 2 and. All right, they only make it all the way up to 2, and then when we get to that quarter note, we're on 3. So count it with me again. Look at the notes when you're counting so it helps you. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. One more time, count it, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I'm going to play this for you guys. I'm going to play it from the first measure, and then you're going to play it with me after that. All right, remember, we're working on the note C here, so we don't have a finger on the top, but we do keep the thumb on the back, okay? Here we go. I'm going to play from the beginning. All right, and if you remember counting it, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Play it with me, everyone. Remember the middle finger only. Go. All right, now I did go a little fast on that one. Let's get started. Let's refresh. Let's do it again. All right, we're middle finger here, no finger on the top, and our thumb on the back covering that hole, making sure every part of the hole that you are touching is covered. Here we go. 1, 2, C, go. Good. If you want to practice that one again, just rewind and do that section over and keep doing it until you get it right. We're going to move on to exercise 10 so that we can get through this video and get as much as we can filled into this segment. All right. Moving this over so I can see everything, making me smaller and zooming it out. All right. We're looking at exercise 10 here, guys. All right. And we're working with two notes, C and A. All right. Now, the reason we're working on this is because it's just trying to help you get that idea of putting that top finger down while the middle finger stays, okay? So this is the only movement we're doing for the whole song. And we're making sure we're counting appropriately for our half notes and counting appropriately for our quarter notes. When we see a half note, that entire half note gets 2 counts. All right, so if I'm playing C for the first one and we see that that's a half note, the half note is held for 2 counts. So I'll count in my head. You see how I switched when I gave the half note 2 counts? I switched to the other half note and gave it 2 counts. All right, so we're going to count the beginning, and then we're going to play it from sight reading. All right, we're just going to count, sing it, and then we're going to play it. From the beginning, we're going to count it, and we see that there's a C there. So a C means 4 beats in a measure. So we count to 4, and then we start over. Try it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like to sing it when I count so that I know which note I'm on because I can see which note I'm singing as well. All right. So we're going to play it. And remember, all we're doing is starting on our middle finger, adding our top finger when we see the note changes. Okay. So we have half notes and quarter notes. Very easy on the rhythm here. Try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Not too bad, huh? Let's try it again. Last time, guys, and then we're going to start tomorrow on exercise 9 probably. All right, but we're going to start again here. Adding or making sure in our head we're counting, we're tapping with our foot so that we know when to switch. Half notes get 2, quarter notes get 1 tap. Here we go. Last time, guys. 1, 2, exercise 10, ready, set, go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson as much as I did. I feel like there is great progress being made. I really can't know for certain, but I feel like there is because you guys are so smart, and I remember how quickly you guys learned some stuff last year, and I was so impressed. So I'm really hoping you guys are catching on to this as much as possible. We will play these together when we are in person again. So don't be upset if you think this is going to be over. We will be using these for next year as well. So making sure that we're taking care of this instrument so that we don't have to get more for the class that already had some. As always, Mr. Isaac has 3 things for you. You are kind, you are smart, and you are important. I look forward to seeing you all soon. And until then, have an awesome day.